Okay, Coach Pat, there's a lot of vision that's required to do this ODA, Olympic Development Academy. You know, you guys you're putting obviously a lot of time, energy, and money into it. But looking at what's going to happen to the Beersford kids. First off, Beersford won the state championship this year in South Dakota State.
Yeah, won the state championship with 4 state champs.
And all those guys are members here.
Yeah, all 4 platinum members at LOG.
So that means they train and to an extent try to stay about a month here at least.
Yeah, those are the ones that come all summer and they check in June 1st and they check out August 5th. So they spend a minimum of those 62 days straight, as well as all the preseason and postseason.
So I shot that short. It's not a month. It's 2 months.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So they're here for a while. But and those are local kids. You know, most of them are local kids.
Yes. What
What happens to the local kid? You know, I was talking to kids from Vermilion yesterday.
Right.
I was talking to kids from Bryce Valley, I believe it is.
Brandon Valley.
Brandon Valley, you know. I was talking to guys from all over. What happens to the local kid when you guys bring talent in from Nebraska, Iowa, Colorado, California? What happens to the local?
Right. Well, you know, the state rules prohibit us from working with South Dakota high school athletes during the season in any type of practice setting. So the only thing that we can do with the kid once the regular season starts is do private instruction. And it's got to be groups of 3 or less. So, you know, a lot of the local kids are still going to attend their local high school. But the ODA is going to be good for them during their off season. But realistically, during their season, it's really going to be almost no contact with those guys. And that's really the reason that our first prong is to be able to get kids in that would like to do the freestyle Greco. The second prong is being able to do the national folk style circuit. And then the third prong is being able to give these local kids in the state of South Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota, that are all within 40 to 50 miles of us, the ability to come in and train with those guys as much as they can, with knowing that the rules for South Dakota only, the Iowa rules, Minnesota rules, Nebraska rules, do not prohibit us from working with them in the school year, but South Dakota does. So they're obviously going to be able to get a great benefit. They're just not going to be able to get the full benefit because those 3.5, 4 months we can't touch them.
So what do you say to a parent who, hey, my kids come up through the Beersford Watchdog Youth Wrestling Program. They come in and a kid comes in and they could potentially take their spot if you guys don't do the academy where if they go to Beersford. What happens if a kid from out of state comes in and takes a local kid's spot? How do you guys address that?
Well, I think that there's really a small factor of that happening, because most of the kids we're bringing in from out of state are going to want to follow the first 2 prongs. And the first 2 prongs, of course, are doing the folk style with the national circuit, and then the freestyle Greco. You know, and obviously we're going to have kids that may want to wrestle at high school. Right now, we still have some things to work out with the state association when those kids come in on how that's going to work, if it's going to work. So obviously, you know, our prongs will put them in the national circuit, much like a Blair Academy, much like the model of a Wyoming seminary. Put them in the big national level tournaments, and then use the local kids to be able to get as much benefit as they can in the off season, knowing that we can't touch them during the season.
So this isn't about benefiting 5 or 6 kids who move here or boarded, or 10 kids that move here. It literally does benefit the local kids even more because they're getting high level competition every day in the summer. And then if they choose to do private training with those guys, they can come here and do private training with the guys and set workouts up. So it does benefit them.
Right, absolutely. I mean, at this point, they would have 9 months with those guys and 3 months without them. So obviously, I mean, if you could get 9 months with some of the top training in the United States, you're obviously going to get better, and it's going to make it good for you. It's going to continue to make the local wrestling better, and it's going to continue to make the Midwest better.
This is like, you need a lot of vision for something like this. You got to be a forward thinker. You know, when you think like, man, I want to board kids, I want to bring them in from out of state, a lot of people are going to call you nuts, man. They're going to think that's crazy. Where does an idea like this come from? And, you know, like, I think a lot of people think revolutionary people who stick their neck out and do like a new idea are a little crazy. But what's it take, and where does an idea like this even come from?
You know, I've always had the vision I want to do something for wrestling. And wrestling saved my life. I mean, I was a single, my mom and dad were divorced when I was young, and if it wasn't for wrestling, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, wrestling for me saved my life, and I watched what it did coaching junior college for a lot of years. A lot of the kids that came to junior college were trouble, whether it was academically, whether it was socially, whether it was athletically. And, you know, I saw a way that I could change all of that. And that's what I want to do. And I've been so fortunate to have so many great people that support me. We've had great support from national media outlets. We've had great support from regional outlets. We've got great sponsors, people that want to see kids do something with their lives. And wrestling is just an avenue to do something better with their lives, I think. And, you know, I have people laugh at me all the time, but when I die, I want to be known as the guy that helped change the face of wrestling. And whether that happens, I don't know, but I know I'm gonna give it a damn good shot and do my best to make that work.
If there's anything that you want people to know about this, you know, that you and I haven't talked about, we've talked about it's a three-pronged idea and vision. You know, what is one thing maybe we haven't touched on that's going to come from the Olympic Development Academy here in Beresford, South Dakota at Legends of Gold? Is there anything that we haven't talked about, or something maybe that's special that we've missed?
You know, I think the biggest thing is this isn't about wrestling. I mean, it is, but there's a bigger piece to this. Like when you look through the academic model that we've put in place too, we've worked with every regional college in the state. So we have the head registrar from South Dakota State. We have professors. We have the assistant dean. We have the athletic directors. We have curriculum directors from every college in the state, making sure these kids are successful. So the thing that people don't understand is, yeah, we want them to come in here and be great wrestlers, but we want them to be great citizens. And, you know, we want them to be great people, and we want them to be great students. And that's the part that people are missing, I think, is it's not just about the wrestling. It's about an avenue to help these kids be responsible citizens far after wrestling's over.